Oh, I'm live. All right. What is up, fellas? Well, that was a strange start. It went live before I clicked it. How's it going, fellas? This is not really an episode of Rewriting History, but welcome to the stream for the Dawgs. I got a gift from a viewer, from Eric, and I had to show this thing off. Vincent in the chat is the one who painted it. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, he doesn't love being picked up, but I'm going to pick him up and show him off for a second because he is such a good boy. Oh, I got you, buddy. Check out this good dog. Look at this dude. Best dog in the world. He does not want to be held, so I'm going to put him down. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I think I need to go let him out. I'll be right back. No, he's good. He's good. All right, but yeah, man, I got this thing, and he's a 15-year-old dog, and it's been a really rough couple of months with him. He's been suffering a lot lately, and so when I opened this up from Eric, I immediately just started crying. This means so much to me. This is such an incredible gift. I never expected to get something so amazing and awesome, but thank you to both of you. Absolutely incredible stuff. I love it so much. It's like my most prized possession immediately. So thank you so much. But some updates with the channel and such. I am working on a video about men being from Mars, very literally. And I was going to try and do that tonight, but it's not quite ready. So maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. And yeah, we've had very undeniable evidence that intelligent life originated on Mars in this solar system for the last 50 years. And it's something that very rarely gets covered or talked about. It's kind of like the Hanukkah mound. It's something that is known. People know about it, but because there is no good way to dismiss it or debunk it, rather than trying to debunk it, it just never gets discussed. And so not a whole lot of people hear about it, even though it's a known thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be covering a little bit later this week. But in the meantime, I figured I'd talk about a few things real quick. The Jimmy Corsetti, the bright insight versus archaeologists, is not slowed down at all, and it's only heating up more and more. And it's a complicated situation because Jimmy does say, for lack of a better word, some stupid things sometimes. When he was talking about the scans underneath Giza, and he's like, drill, baby, drill. We should be drilling tomorrow. There's no reason that we haven't already started drilling. It's not quite the case, right? It's there's a few steps involved before you drill 200 meters below the Giza plateau. And, similarly with his demands for Göbekli Tepe, it's he's taken it a little bit to the extreme. He's this should all be 100% excavated and it should be done tomorrow. It's excavation does take a lot of time. It is very deliberate and arduous work. So I do, to an extent, understand some of the complaints that archaeologists have with Jimmy Corsetti, but this whole beef has just gotten completely ridiculous on both sides, more so on the archaeologists, but on both sides, frankly. I think both sides are making themselves look worse and worse in the eyes of serious people. They're both achieving their goal of gaining attention. Both of the archaeologists and Jimmy Corsetti are getting a hell of a lot of attention over this controversy. But, Jimmy is a little overzealous, right? He is a little overzealous, and I think he does lack a little bit of the in-depth understanding of what goes into these things. But the reaction from archaeologists, they decided to oppose him over the trees. everyone knows the trees got removed because of Jimmy. Archaeologists deny it, but everyone knows very clearly, very plainly that the trees were removed because of Jimmy. And that was a great thing. Like when Jimmy got the trees removed, he was batting 1,000. And I think we could have seen an alternate timeline where instead of attacking him, archaeologists came out and were like, man, thank you for raising attention to this issue, because we are just archaeologists. We don't have the influence over the Turkish government to command these things. But thanks to you raising attention, we were able to actually take action and remove them. And imagine that world, right? Imagine that world where there were archaeologists actually collaborating with these alternate history people rather than just taking this, knee-jerk response of whatever he says, we have to say the opposite. And because of that, like the things that archaeologists say are just laughable. First of all, they're furious that he's trying to influence excavations, yet they also claim he has no influence, right? According to them, the trees have nothing to do with Jimmy. Them being removed, that wasn't because of his influence. He has no influence, but also we have to stop his influence. And it's just like everything they say is more ridiculous than the last thing. And they're all shouting it in unison. And it really has become, it's not something I enjoy watching, right? It's like, I care about humanity's history and I care about making progress in understanding humanity's history. And it seems certainly that the archaeologists don't care about that. They just care about scoring points on who they view as their enemy, aka Jimmy Corsetti. They've been calling him, again, as they always do, white supremacist, Nazi, MAGA, all this kind of stuff, because they just like hate him. It has nothing to do with furthering the understanding of archaeology. And the stance that we shouldn't be excavating Göbekli Tepe is a completely ridiculous stance. Yes, it needs to be done carefully. It does need to be done slowly. There might even be good reasons to not excavate 100% of the site. But why are we stopping at 5%? Right? Like, why have archaeologists just gone 5% is enough? It really doesn't make much sense. And it makes, like I said, I think it's at this point, it's devolved to a point where everyone involved is just looking worse. You missed the good boy? Someone missed the good boy? There's the painting of the good boy. Rewind to see the actual good boy. My other dog I'm petting her butt right now. She's right next to me. She's a great dog too, but she's not the best dog in the world. My other dog, the one you saw, he's severely autistic. No one's ever heard of an autistic dog, but he is. And that probably sounds like a bad thing. It's not. He's naturally the best dog in the world. He is mute. He's nonverbal, so he doesn't bark. He doesn't make noise. He's got zero aggression in him. He doesn't beg for food or attention or anything else. Like, he's just literally the most perfect dog in the world. He's not retarded. He's just very autistic. You can't, for example, like if you try to force his head to be in line with your head, like if I were to I got my other dog right here and I'm looking at her right in the face. If I were to do this with him, he would scream at the top of his lungs and act like you were murdering him. He's definitely a little bit autistic. I unironically, Vincent, have wanted to clone him myself. Like, if I could afford cloning that dog, I might, because I've never met another dog like him, and he's just naturally the most perfect dog in the world. No training required. But yeah, I don't know, the Jimmy saga, right? I've commented before about how I noticed a change in Jimmy's behavior and attitude after he got the trees removed. And I think that change is not a positive one, right? I know he deals to an extent in drama, but it seems that he's shifted from like alt history to like just kind of peddling drama, which is a little bit disappointing to see. I wish he would be a little bit less inflammatory, especially because of how ridiculous the archaeologists are. I don't think that Jimmy needs to instigate them at this point. I think he could make, nice, polite, and like good etiquette posts, and they would still respond in their absolutely ridiculous way, which would make them look even worse and him look even better. But, you know, it is what it is. And on that note, before I get into the really spicy topic, I'm going to save that for last. I look at the trend that's happening in this community in general, and it's been really disheartening, honestly, because I see all of these people with all these followers, and I view their content, and it seems that overall we're regressing towards the mean. We're appealing to the lowest common denominator, which makes a lot of sense if your goal is to build as large of an audience as possible. You know, to reach the masses, you kind of have to dumb your stuff down a little bit. And that is what I'm seeing happening. Is I see all of these topics that have been known for years and years, and they're getting presented as like these breaking, you know, look at what we just discovered. And it's like, that's been known for years now. And then not only are they covering these topics that have been known for years, but they're covering them in less depth than they've been covered in the past. Like I said, a regression towards the mean, an appeal to the lowest common denominator. So like context and details and the depth of what is actually being covered is slowly being stripped away. And I obviously wish I had more viewers, right? That it does matter to me, but it's not the number one most important thing. I want to further our understanding of humanity's past. Like that is truly my main concern. And I think that's probably pretty much everyone's main concern when they start out in this space. But because we're all algorithm driven and we're all like viewer hungry, I see that getting put to the side, and the, you know, dumbing down, the regressing to the mean, the appealing to the lowest common denominator, I see that taking over, and it's kind of disappointing to see. And, you know, maybe that's necessary. Maybe this actually is a good thing, because maybe once more of the public gets interested in this, then their attention span is a little bit longer for it because they're already interested in it. And then maybe we can get down into the nitty gritty details a little bit more. But I don't know. It's kind of discouraging to see happening all around me. And there's obviously examples of people that don't fit into the category that I'm describing. You know, I think Uncharted X is a good example. He doesn't deal in the drama, and the work he's doing on the bases is absolutely incredible and possibly changing the narrative of humanity's history more than any other work that's ever been done. You know, there's people like Wandering Wolf in Weird Old World who are not even really engaging in the commentary, certainly not engaging in the drama, and are just documenting, providing the highest quality documentation of these megalithic sites that have ever been taken, ever. And more people like that are popping up. So, you know, it's not all negative. I can be a bit of a negative person sometimes, and I can focus on the negative a little bit too much. But there are a lot of really good things going on in the community as well. And it's good to see those people succeeding. And I would encourage you to check out all of those people if you're not familiar with them: Weird Old World, Wandering Wolf, Uncharted X, Ancient Architects, History for Granite. And I'm sure there's many others that I'm not listing, but those are some really, really good ones. So if anyone wants to call in, the comment is pinned at the top. I'm going to read through chat real quick, and then I'm going to cover a very, very spicy topic. Very spicy topic. I didn't know Vince drew nude men, but I'm glad he had that experience, because my dog is also nude. So men are from Mars. Yeah, so the Beetlejuice system, yeah, there's like the Dogon tribe that have, I'm going to get into all that. I'm not even going to cover it now. I'll cover all that in the video when I make it. Yes, it is Denver colored. Okay. Yeah, memes are great for introducing topics to short attention span people. And maybe once those people get interested, their attention span grows, and maybe it is a good thing. But so, spicy topic here, right? Archaeology has a very clear and strong bias against white people. for lack of a better way to say it, right? There is every group of people we wases, every single group of people we wases, Black people, white people, Asian people, all of them. But archaeology only has a vitriolic response to one of those groups of people, which is white people. When white people claim history for their own, archaeologists get very upset and offended by it. And there's also clear evidence of archaeology hiding history. And some of this is a byproduct of, the way our institutions are structured. And you can argue about whether or not that's an intentional structuring for that purpose or not. But even outside of that, there's also clear examples of history being hidden. It absolutely happens. It happens in archaeology all the time. And so I've discussed previously motivations for why archaeologists would hide history. And I've suggested many different ideas. One of the ideas, which I honestly suggested probably wasn't the main culprit, but one of the potential explanations for why they hide history is because of this bias against white people, right? If history does present a narrative that white people were the main culprits of advanced civilizations in the past, that would be a very politically dicey narrative to present to the world. And so there's, might be an effort to kind of conceal that narrative and to hide it and cover it up and to put extra emphasis on the accomplishments of other groups of people while kind of being dismissive of the accomplishments of white people, which we do see, at least to an extent, within archaeology. And to take this to the next level, right? And what I'm about to say here is all of the narrative of archaeologists. This is not my thoughts. This is not what I believe in. These are the narratives presented by archaeology. Modern humans, just like me and you, identical to us, have been around for 300,000 years. And for 300,000 years, we lived in the Stone Age, accomplishing nothing until 7,000 years ago. And yes, Göbekli Tepe changes that a little bit, but largely the narrative has been that we were all Ooga Booga cavemen until 7,000 years ago with the birth of Sumeria. And then we went from Ooga Booga cavemen to having accomplished and mastered and perfected absolutely everything all the way up until the Industrial Revolution, essentially, within a very short time period. And Sumeria was this very advanced, very technologically advanced civilization. 8,000 years ago, according to archaeology, is when white people started to appear. According to archaeology, modern humans like us existed for 300,000 years, except for white people. So all of the other modern humans existed, but white people did not exist until 8,000 years ago. And that's when we start to see the genes for white people emerging. And for 297,000 years, all of these groups of people accomplished nothing. And then within 1,000 years of when white people first started to emerge, we accomplish the feats of, like I said, everything all the way up until the Industrial Revolution is what Sumeria had accomplished. And so it doesn't take a whole lot to add two and two together and get a pretty clear, indication that, well, if modern humans, sans white people, existed for over 290,000 years, and then within 1,000 years of white people existing, we have all of these booms of civilization around the world. Like, pretty easy case to make that white people are responsible for civilization. Again, this is not the arguments I'm making. This is just looking at the narratives presented by archaeology and adding two and two together. Like, that doesn't seem like a big leap. It seems like the most logical conclusion to make just looking at those pieces of information. So yeah, I had kind of dismissed that idea that the hiding of history was to cover up the reality that white people are the origin of civilization, because I think there's a lot of counter evidence to that. But if you do just look at those couple of pieces of information, there's a really, really strong case to be made that that is what archaeologists believe to be the case, at least. I disagree with the archaeological narratives. I think there were advanced civilizations long before Sumeria. I don't think they were the first. I also don't really think it's likely that white people only have existed for the last 8,000 years. I think that all of that is probably bunk. But if you want to accept the narratives of archaeology, really easy conclusion to draw there. So that's really all I had to say. Just quick little updates. I do hope I get the Men Are From Mars video out here within the next 2 days. I should be able to. So keep an eye out for that. And if no one wants to call in, which it doesn't seem like you do, I will catch you guys again soon. Does anyone want Goob's address? Go ahead and give it out. I won't be here long. I'm moving soon. So that's another thing. Like I don't myself. I don't even take pride in like my own family members' accomplishments. It always seemed strange to me. It's like, why would I be, it's like kids in school would be like, do you know who my dad is? Or do you know what he's done? Like, my dad did this. And it's like, okay, why do you care about what your dad did? What can you do? You're a fucking loser. It's like, I genuinely never understood that mentality. I'm proud of the things that I've accomplished. So wussing for like people who share your skin color and being like, look at what these people accomplished thousands of years ago. That was me. It's like, I never really understood that. But beyond that also, yeah, like look at Brits. British people are obviously, compare a British person and a Norwegian person. They're not the same, right? It's like even amongst the umbrella of white, yeah, we have a lot of very distinct different groups of people, and that's true for all the races, right? But yeah, it's just a confusing mentality to me. Like, I don't identify with British people any more than I identify with Black people personally. Like, they're totally, I'm not British. I am very glad I'm not British. I think they're some of the ugliest humans on the planet. They look grotesque to me. But yeah, it's just a strange, oh, your skin color is the same as mine. We're the same. Your accomplishments are my accomplishments. Like, I just don't get that. And I don't really know what my heritage is. So, there's nothing for me to feel connected to. All right, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you with the Men Are From Mars video soon. Peace out.